Picture this. Marketing is a complete scam. There, I said it. We are told to pour thousands of dollars into ads, funnels, and gurus who promise the moon. But what if it is all just one big, expensive lie? I decided to find out. For 90 straight days, I slammed the brakes on all marketing spend. $0 on Facebook ads, 0 on Google, 0 on influencer collaborations. I turned off the money tap completely. Some people called me crazy. My accountant definitely thought I had lost my mind. But what happened next was not what anyone expected. So why would I do something so seemingly counterintuitive in 2025? It was not just for a fun YouTube video, although here we are. My business felt like it was on a hamster wheel of paid acquisition. The more I spent, the more I needed to spend just to stay in the same place. The cost per click was climbing faster than a squirrel up a tree, and the return on ad spend was starting to look depressingly thin. It felt unsustainable, like I was just renting customers instead of building a real community. The big question was, if I stopped paying for attention, would my business simply vanish into thin air? Is it even possible to grow a business organically in today's hyper-competitive online world? I was about to find out, and frankly, I was terrified. The first 30 days were brutal. My website traffic fell off a cliff. Sales notifications, which used to ping happily throughout the day, went silent. It was like a ghost town. The silence was deafening. I found myself obsessively checking my analytics, watching the numbers flatline. Panic started to creep in. I had moments where I almost caved, my mouse hovering over the reactivate ad campaign button. This is the part where most people would give up and declare the experiment a failure. But I remembered why I started. To escape the marketing hamster wheel. So instead of panicking and throwing money at the problem, I got to work. I had no budget, but I had time. And I decided to invest that time in things I had been neglecting. My first major pivot was to go all in on creating ridiculously valuable problem-solving content. Not just fluffy blog posts, but deep dive guides, tutorials, and resources that my ideal customer would actually search for. I spent hours on forums like Reddit and Quora, not to spam my links, but to genuinely listen. What were people's biggest pain points? What questions were they asking that no one was answering properly? I then created content that directly addressed those specific needs. For example, instead of a generic article like 5 tips for better productivity, I created a super detailed video tutorial titled How to Build a Complete Second Brain in Notion from Scratch, complete with a free template. This was not about going viral, it was about becoming the single best resource for a very specific problem. The second pillar of my $0 strategy was what I call radical engagement. I could not afford to pay for eyeballs, so I had to earn them, one human at a time. This meant answering every single comment on my YouTube videos and social media posts, not with a generic thumbs up, but with a thoughtful reply. It meant sending personalized welcome emails to new subscribers and actually responding when they replied. I started hosting weekly live Q&A sessions on Instagram, not to sell anything, but just to hang out and help people. Was it time-consuming? Absolutely. It was my entire day. But something incredible started to happen. People were not just consuming my content, they were becoming part of a community. They started sharing my stuff without me even asking. Word of mouth, the holy grail of marketing, was starting to ignite. By day 60, the tide started to turn. The content I had created in the first month was beginning to rank on Google. My search traffic, which had been dead, was slowly but surely climbing. And it was not just any traffic, it was highly qualified traffic. These were people actively searching for the solutions I provided. My email list started growing faster than it ever did with paid ads, and the open rates were through the roof. Because these subscribers joined because they valued my content, not because they were lured by a flashy ad. The community we were building started to feel like a real tribe. People were answering each other's questions in the comments before I even had a chance to jump in. It was becoming a self-sustaining ecosystem. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that we have been conditioned to see marketing as a transaction. You pay money, you get a customer. But this experiment forced me to see marketing as a relationship. When you cannot pay for attention, you have to earn it through trust and value. This meant shifting my focus from short-term metrics like clicks and conversions to long-term assets like search rankings, email subscribers, and community engagement. These are assets that do not disappear when you stop paying for them. In fact, they compound over time. Every piece of evergreen content I created is like a tiny salesperson working for me 24/7, for free, forever. Can your Facebook ad campaign do that? I did not think so. So, let's talk about the results after 90 days. The numbers might surprise you. While my overall website traffic was down about 15% compared to when I was running ads, my revenue was up by 7%. Let me repeat that. I spent $0 on marketing and my revenue increased. How is that possible? Because the quality of my traffic was infinitely better. My conversion rate more than doubled. The customers I acquired were not impulse buyers. They were educated, engaged fans who had been following me for weeks. My email list grew by 300%, all organically. And the best part? My profit margins skyrocketed. All that money that used to go to Mark Zuckerberg and Google? It was now pure profit. What is the biggest takeaway from all this? Is paid marketing dead? No, of course not. It is a powerful tool when used correctly. But my 90-day experiment proved that it is not the only tool. We have become so reliant on it that we have forgotten how to build a business from the ground up. We have forgotten how to create things people actually want and talk about. If your business would die the second you turned off your ads, do you really have a business? Or do you just have a leaky bucket that you are constantly forced to fill with money? This experiment was the reset I desperately needed. It forced me to build a stronger, more resilient, and ultimately more profitable business on a foundation of genuine value, not rented attention. So what can you do starting today to apply these lessons? First, conduct a content audit. Find your top 10 most popular pieces of content and ask yourself, how can I make this 10 times better? Add a video, a checklist, a free template. Turn it into the undisputed best resource on the internet for that topic. Second, commit to 1 hour of radical engagement every day. Go into your comments, your emails, your DMs, and have real conversations. Do not delegate it. You, the founder, need to do it. Third, start one new organic channel. Maybe it is a weekly newsletter, a TikTok series, or a podcast. Commit to it for 90 days. Do not even look at the stats. Just focus on creating value. It is not about instant results. It is about planting seeds that will grow into a forest. This journey was not easy, but it was transformative. It changed not just my marketing strategy, but my entire philosophy on business. It reminded me that at the core of every successful brand is a simple exchange. You help people solve a problem and they reward you with their trust, their attention, and eventually their money. You do not always need a big budget to make a big impact. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of creativity, a lot of empathy, and the courage to turn off the ads. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you found this experiment interesting or even a little bit helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you do not miss what I am testing next. And drop a comment below. What is the one organic marketing strategy you are going to try for the next 90 days? I will be down there replying to as many of you as I can. Until next time, keep building.